I'm Jarrod Kimber, and this is the T20 World Cup previews. And this one, we're going to do the West Indies. The West Indies style of play, they've got a lot of guys who'd like to hit sixes, which is no surprise, but they haven't really played that way in the last couple of tournaments. But they've also got a few players like Roston Chase and Shai Hope, who are kind of reimagining their careers. They were, at some stages, not even T20 players. So they have the ability to also play within themselves and play proper cricket. So there are some batters there that if the wickets are doing something that, they can knock it around. But you look at Robin Powell and Shimron Hetmeyer and Nicholas Pooran and Andre Russell and your Romario Shepherd. There's big hitters in this particular side. 3 match winners per team. I think this one's pretty easy. We'll go Shimron Hetmeyer. Unfortunately, didn't play as many games in the IPL, but I thought he looked in really good form and we never got to see him. Shimron Hetmeyer is just an absolute beast when he wants to be. And he's versatile enough to bat pretty much anywhere from 1 to 7, but probably at his absolute best around that 4, 5, 6 position. And they're going to be using him in that way. Nicholas Pooran, again, can bat in most positions. Maybe not an opener, but certainly almost everywhere else. His ability to hit sixes against the spinners is absolutely brilliant. To have those two players together in form, and let's hope they're both in form, is really important. And then, I don't know, let's just throw in Andre Russell. He's taken a lot of wickets in this recent IPL. He was in great batting form before that. Probably hasn't quite got to the peaks of his batting form. But if he's a wicket taker, that's a huge plus for him. And he's probably going to get it right with the bat a couple of times, and that can win you games. The surprise package for them, I suppose the obvious one would be Shamar Joseph, who's played like 3 T20 games in his life. He played in an IPL game where he bowled one of the most incredible overs I've ever seen. For about 3 or 4 balls, he was brilliant. And for about 8 balls, because he bowled a lot of wides and no balls and all sorts of things, he was as terrible as you could be. But I thought there's still a lot of talent there. He's the most surprising. I'm not even sure if he's going to play. But I'm going to go with Gudakesh Moti. I think he's one of the best spinners in the world at the moment. He's going to be playing on his own pitches. He spins the ball a long way. He's tall, he's strong, he's clever. There is a lot to like about Gudakesh Moti, and I think he could have a really good World Cup. The T20 World Cup pedigree for the West Indies, of course, is that they won a couple, and probably in their prime could have won a couple more as well. The semi-final in 2009 where Angelo Matthews basically beat them with an over was quite disappointing, and they probably let themselves down a little bit in 2014 as well. But since then, we just haven't seen them pull it together. And so what West Indies are we getting? We know this isn't the golden era of West Indies T20 cricket, but there's a lot of talent in this side. It's how it matches together whether we're going to see the best of them. It's an interesting group because they should obviously roll Papua New Guinea and Uganda quite comfortably, but then they've got New Zealand and Afghanistan. That can cause them some issues, right? I think they can beat both of those sides, but I can also see a world where they lose to both of those sides. It could be tricky for them to get to that next level. The biggest challenges for this team is probably getting everyone in form at the right time, making the batting order work, and by that I mean just fixing it so that all the best players are playing in their right positions, which I think in some times they haven't quite got correct. But for me, it's the bowling. I really like Gudakesh Moti, but their seam bowling, they've got a bunch of all-rounders like Romario Shepherd and Robin Powell and Andre Russell and Jason Holder, none of which are great T20 bowlers. They've all got handy skills, but they're going to want to get a lot of those guys into the side. So then, how do you kind of do that? You've got weaker bowling. So they're going to have to make a lot of runs, I think, to overcome for their bowling. Now, they've got a lot of guys who can hit sixes, so maybe that is the case. But I think I haven't seen it come together yet. If it came together in the first couple of games, I'd feel very confident to say that they have a chance of at least going to the semi-finals and maybe even a sneaky chance of winning. But I can't make that call until I've seen them. Pitch conditions, obviously they're playing in the Caribbean. They're used to this. They play in the CPL and they're all used to it. The issue I would have is on the wickets where you need better seam bowlers. I'm not sure Alzari Joseph is bowling brilliantly in T20 cricket at the moment, and the rest of their seamers are probably subpar. They have bits that they can do, but they're not great seam bowlers. So I worry about that a little bit, but Gudakesh Moti and Akil Hassan should be really good as spinners, so they do have some options there. Will America fall in love with the West Indies team? There's a lot of American fans who know people from the Caribbean, and there's a lot of expats as well, right? And so I noticed that when you do content about the West Indies, you get a lot of people in America getting involved, right? And so there is an element of that might play a part. They will be seen as the underdogs. They will, if they win it or they do really well, they're going to be an exciting team to watch. There's going to be a lot of sixes. So maybe they'll go on a run, but they're not playing in the USA, of course. So it would be harder for that to happen. But yeah, that would be a great story. And then, of course, if nothing else, there's going to be a lot of Americans trying to work out why a bunch of different islands and one South American country are playing as a cricket team in a World Cup. So that should be fun for the Americans. A lot of my friends have West Indies really high. I think I rate them roughly the same place I would have New Zealand, maybe slightly above a team like Sri Lanka. I don't see them as a genuine chance of winning this tournament. However, it is at home and they've got a lot of good cricketers in there. But if they're fighting for the semi-finals or make a semi-final, I see that as a huge win for them based on how they've gone in the last few tournaments. Well, that's it from me on this T20 World Cup preview. Remember to like and subscribe and do all those things that talkSPORT Cricket wants you to do on this channel. We're going to have so much coverage of cricket here. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing with your life?
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.